Ford, Toyota, and GM announced new engines that will end electric cars. Now, I know what you're thinking, EVs are the future, right? Well, not so fast. These new engines aren't your dad's old gas guzzlers. They're lean, mean, eco-friendly machines, and they will change the industry forever. Let me explain why this is such a big deal. Why are these new engines causing such a stir? I mean, what is new about these things? All of these companies, Ford, Toyota, and GM, always reveal some seriously next-level engines, and sometimes engines that are out of this world, like hydrogen-powered ones and even water-powered ones. So what's different this time? This time, it is not just amazing, it is also not talking pie-in-the-sky concepts. These beasts are already tearing up the streets. And guess what? They're giving electric vehicles a run for their money in some pretty surprising ways. But here's where it gets really juicy. These engines aren't just shaking up the performance game, they're turning the whole auto industry on its head. If they can match or even beat EVs in the green department, suddenly the all-electric future doesn't look so certain, and to be honest, it is kind of looking like that. Imagine being able to keep your beloved vrooming engine and feel good about your carbon footprint. Pretty sweet deal, right? So yeah, this is huge. It's like someone just flipped the script on the whole EV versus ICE debate. The race just got a whole lot more interesting, and EV makers are going to have to step up their game big time. We're witnessing automotive history in the making, folks. The old-school engines aren't going down without a fight, and they're packing one heck of a punch. But how good are they really? Well, let's start with the one that started it all, the Porsche ATH. After Porsche came out with an incredible engine, all of them followed suit. And don't let the name fool you. Sure, it stands for Advanced Turbocharged Hybrid, but it's not just another engine with a fancy turbo slapped on it. Nope, Porsche's gone and created the superhero of engines, blending brute force with eco-friendly finesse. What does that mean? You get the heart-pounding thrill of a sports car and the whisper-quiet ride of an EV, minus the whole "where's the next charging station" panic. It cranks out 464 horses and 480 lb-ft of torque. That's like strapping a rocket to a Hulk. And the best part? Efficiency. Porsche claims this bad boy can hit 120 miles per gallon. Sure, real-world driving might knock that down a peg, but it's still mind-bogglingly efficient. With a 25.9 kilowatt-hour battery, you can silently cruise for 54 miles on pure electric power, perfect for sneaking out for late-night snack runs. To put this into perspective, compare it to the gas guzzlers, and when you do, it's like bringing a lightsaber to a knife fight. It's got all the vroom you crave with none of the guilt. And EVs. Sure, they've got that whole zero-emissions thing going on, but the ATH is like the Swiss Army knife of engines. And hybrids? Forget about them. Just think about what kind of hybrid can do this. Nothing, and I mean not even one. But don't just take my word, the numbers don't lie. This is what happens when Porsche decides to flex its engineering muscles. With this engine, you get electric efficiency when you want it and good old-fashioned combustion power when you need it. No more "will I make it to the next charging station" sweats. But what about hybrids? As a hybrid itself, it doesn't just raise the bar, it launches it into space. First up, we're talking serious muscle. That's not just impressive, it's downright show-offy. Most sports cars are hanging out in the 300 to 400 horsepower range. Even Porsche's own 911 Carrera base model only manages 379 horsepower. The ATH. It's leaving them in the dust. Usually, when you hear hybrid, you think efficient but kind of boring, right? Not anymore. Your average hybrid is putting out a meager 150 to 300 horsepower. The Toyota Prius, a cute 121 horsepower. The ATH laughs in the face of those numbers. It's like the Hulk decided to go green in more ways than one. But what about those fancy electric cars? Sure, some EVs like the Tesla Model S Plaid are packing some serious heat. We're talking 1000 plus horsepower. But here's the thing, the ATH gives you the best of both worlds. You get that classic engine growl and driving feel, plus the eco-friendly perks of electric power. It's like having your cake and eating it too, but the cake is made of horsepower, and the frosting is sustainability. Now the real question is, have they changed the game? The question is, how exactly? So let's break it down. The industry response. Well, the first one to respond with a bang was Ford. They're shaking things up with their new hybrid engines, and trust me, it's not just another snooze fest in automotive news. First up, meet the EcoBoost Max, Ford's new hybrid superstar. This isn't your grandma's Prius, folks. We're talking about the 3.5L PowerBoost Hybrid V6, a turbocharged beast that produces 430 horsepower and a staggering 570 lb-ft of torque. This engine combines high-octane gasoline with an eco-friendly electric motor, providing an impressive balance of power and efficiency. Ford's not just slapping these parts together and calling it a day. They're fine-tuning this powertrain to deliver the best of both worlds. Picture this: you're cruising down the highway, feeling that turbo kick in like a caffeine rush, but your wallet's not crying at the gas pump, achieving an estimated 22 miles per gallon in the city and 24 miles per gallon on the highway. Sure, not as efficient as the Porsche ATH, but this gives even more power. And why should you care? This is just the beginning. Ford is revolutionizing the perception of hybrids. The EcoBoost Max defies the stereotype that going green means driving a glorified golf cart. Just like Porsche, this is creating a domino effect in the industry. With the ability to toggle between eco-friendly and powerful performance modes, this hybrid is like a superhero with two costumes, ideal for those who want both sustainability and speed. It's a game-changer in a world where complexity rules. As it combines practicality with performance, what does this mean? If Ford's EcoBoost Max Hybrid turns out to wow folks more than their all-electric rides, it's going to shake things up in some pretty big ways for Ford and the entire EV scene. First up, what does this mean for Ford? Well, don't be surprised if they start placing a little more love on hybrids. Tapping into the hybrid market could tap into a whole bunch of drivers who are still on the fence about going electric. For many, charging stations can feel like a treasure hunt, and they worry about needing to plug in at the wrong time. Major stress. Hybrids can smooth over these worries with that sweet, sweet gas backup. Every time you brake, it recoups energy, functioning like a piggy bank for power. This feature helps extend the vehicle's range and efficiency while actively reducing wear on traditional braking components. Additionally, the EcoBoost Max acts as a mobile power source, providing electricity for your tools or appliances during tailgates or camping trips, making it not just a vehicle but also an essential companion in outdoor adventures. When compared to conventional gasoline vehicles, Ford's EcoBoost hybrids sip fuel like fine wine and produce fewer emissions, up to 40% lower CO2 emissions than their gas-only counterparts. This makes them cleaner options without sacrificing performance. In direct comparison with full electric cars, Ford's hybrids provide a more pragmatic solution for the everyday driver, offering the convenience of refueling without the range anxiety that can accompany fully electric vehicles. Ford isn't merely participating in the hybrid market, they're redefining its boundaries. They're demonstrating that hybrids aren't just a transitional phase leading to full electrification but a distinctive choice with multifaceted advantages. It's akin to finding out that eating your vegetables can indeed taste like ice cream. What's more, a diverse lineup means they can cater to a wider audience.